He said, I want you to go to surf school. I'm like, Dave, seriously?
I'm too old for this. Or
I am
something.
too old for this. And he just laughed at me. He goes, just show up. So I texted Dennis, who's now my surf coach, and I went to 2 weeks of surf camp. Changed my life.
Wow.
Changed my life. I highly recommend surfing. I don't mean the green waves. I don't mean like what you see on YouTube videos. I'm in the white water. And, the first day, nothing's happening. You don't even know where your legs are.
Mm-hmm.
Or how your arm, nothing. And by the 5th day, I have this great picture of me on the surfboard for the first time, and my coach in the background going, yes. It was the most extraordinary day.
I think that is so fun. Have you ever looked around at your life and thought, what if I just started over somewhere completely new? What would it take for you to actually do it, to leave everything familiar behind and build something meaningful from the ground up, like a retreat center in another country? Today's guest, Amy Weinberger, didn't just think about it, she did it. And we're diving into what that leap looked like, what she left behind, and what she discovered along the way. Yay, Amy, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for asking. I think I'm going to start weeping though. Okay. What do you want to know about that?
Yeah. Well, I think we'll just jump into like the way we met was Amy worked with my son Ari. So he has severe dyslexia and really made a huge difference in his life, right? We were just talking before that he is going to be a junior in college. He was on the dean's list this year, right? I mean, like, those are big deals. And today, actually, we were at Noah's graduation. And I was just thinking, I wrote a handwritten note to one of the teachers because she made such an impact in my youngest 3 kids' lives and she's retiring. And I just think that, we need to go back in time some and say, like, thank you for the things that you've done. And you really did make a difference in his life. So thank you. We'll start there.
That's extraordinary.
Yeah.
That's extraordinary.
Yeah,
Right?
there we go. But so when we met, you had a place called the Thinking Center.
Yeah.
And you were working with, I don't know, did we call it neurodivergent children back then?
We did not. That was not a word.
Yeah.
We called it at the center children who were struggling in school. I mean, and because it really encompassed so many different things. And I've seen well over 8,500 kids.
Wow.
In my like about 40-year career. I just took on a new client last night.
Wow.
Zoom now, but
Yeah.
same idea, reading issues.
Yeah, it's amazing. So, okay, let's talk about your big move. So you had been in Sarasota for how long?
35 years.
35 years. And you guys decided that you wanted a big change and you chose Costa Rica.
Kinda. I mean, that's probably how it looks.
Okay.
What really happened is Costa Rica chose us. So I was noticing, I've been in the mental health world and the education world for all these years, bridging these gaps. And so I've had a lot of training in trauma and mental health with families. And sometimes you have to look inside to your own family when things look awry. And that's exactly pretty much what I did. I was also looking at things going on in the United States. And as a past history teacher, kind of connecting some dots. And I told the family, I think it's time for us to make a change. And of course, they were like, what? We can't leave Sarasota. What do you mean sell the house? It was like this whole thing. I'm like, whoa, I think we can do all of it because our home has served our life. And Daddy and I are turning 60, and I think we need to move along. And so it was a big rumble. And we shared this with our daughter and her fiance at the time. And we were going to Maine. It was right after Hurricane Ian. And we were up in Maine, and I get this text on Instagram from my then to be son-in-law with just a video. And the video was about this retreat center in Uvita, Costa Rica. And Steve and I were like, oh, this looks really intriguing. I think we should go there.
Yeah.
So we told the kids, we're going to go check it out. And they were like, this is a joke. What do you mean? We're like, well, we think it's kind of cool. So that's exactly what we did. It was just a leap of faith and a jump. It found us. It was Costa Rica wasn't even, we didn't even have a radar. We just knew we had to move along. And we're from the Virgin Islands originally. So Costa Rica living and jungle and that whole thing wasn't, it was part of us. So it was comfortable to do that leap. That's how we got to Costa Rica.
So tell us a little more about exactly what okay, so I've been to Flow. So I
Yes, you
went
have.
on an amazing retreat there. And I think one of the coolest things for me, first of all, being at a center like this where you're really focusing on your well-being. That's it. You're focusing on you, which and and the biggest benefit, not beyond how I felt when I left, was the group of women that we were with, how we all became really close,
Yeah.
right? I mean, there's dinners all the time. I mean, we have one friend now who is basically doing this incredible hike, and she posts videos every day of that day. I mean, we're talking like 50 days of hiking. And it's just remarkable to me that we have created, I mean, you haven't had the experience to
No.
do this yet, but that the friendship, the bond that came from that. And I know you have more retreats coming up. So, what do you think that's going to look like?
Very different.
Yeah.
So, I have always dreamt, I mean, truly, this is a dream I've always had, or a vision that women come together to support each other. I don't know. I was raised with a bunch of aunties, right?
Yes.
And they really supported my mom, who was at the time, divorced in the early 60s. So all these women always supported me, and I always thought that was a really cool thing. And that's what I wanted to do with Sisterhood and Chocolate. So the thing that Flow does, though, the retreat center, it allows you to really heal. It just gives. It's such a cool place, right? And so the Sisterhood and Chocolate Retreat of 2025 will look different because the women aren't all coming, the majority aren't all coming from Sarasota this time. They're from all over the country, from California and Virginia and North Carolina and Florida. So not that we didn't have the state diversity last year, but 15 of us were from Sarasota. So we were able to keep this energy up right here now. So it's going to look different. And the other thing that will be different is we're going to surf camp. So, so that's going to be a different bond as well. I'm excited to see how it plays itself out. And then the other interesting thing about our retreat last year, none of us talked about our kids.
It's really true.
And that is kind of remarkable, because I said to her probably 2 years ago, I went out with her friend group to a lunch, and it seemed like they went from talking about their kids to like talking about their current ailments. And it's like, you're so much more than both of those things. So much more than both of those things.
That's right. And we didn't even talk about ailments.
Yeah.
It was cool. Yeah. No kids,
really,
no ailments.
Yeah, it was really life-changing.
Yeah, it was. It was for me too. It was, and I love knowing that I'm in Costa Rica and my Sarasota girls, ladies, beautiful women, are in connection, and that we have that support system, because some of our ladies are going through some things that are really hard right now, right? Yeah.
What to you was the most surprising part of just uprooting your life and moving to a different country?
That everything was brand new every single day. It was kind of like being like a newborn, or maybe being 5. We'll go to 5, because when you don't really speak the language great and you can string like 3 words together, everyone is so happy for you. It's really pretty funny. And you know nothing about the government. I mean, like you would know about your home country. And you know nothing about the money, which is really funny because so you have to start all over. It's kind of like being in first grade and taking a nap and then waking back up and like, oh, that's so neat. I mean, everything from the driving, how to downshift, how to count money in colones. It's a mystery. They have a lot of zeros. So one, 1 mil sounds like $1 million, right? In our United States look, but it's not. It's about $2. So everything that you know to be true about this particular country is untrue about that particular country. It's really Porta Vida, and everyone is really kind. I mean, everyone, and the nature absorbs all your mental health issues or struggles. So I would say it's like being a first grader. And wanting praise from someone like, oh, you did it. Look, you counted your money.
That's so funny.
Well, I have to ask, you guys talked about the sisterhood part of the retreat, but what about the chocolate part of the retreat? How did that incorporate in?
Yeah, so we went on this chocolate tour in a kind of the local part of the local rainforest, and Ronald who owns the farm, really gave us, I thought, a really good from start to a finished product. And actually, women were massaging their faces with chocolate at the very end. We also had chocolate at the very beginning and mixed into the different meals. So and we used a book. I can't remember the name of the book, but we used a book about the history of chocolate as it affected the Jewish lives around the world. So that was really pretty exciting, and I hope women have used some of the recipes. You don't know what happens when you leave, right? But yeah.
In the moment, you're like all into everything, and then
I know.
In real life, when have I used my chocolate? Not enough,
Right, not enough. Yeah,
that's okay. I mean, that's what we do. But so your daughter and son-in-law actually run the retreat center.
Yes, they're the managers.
And how much has this, I mean, it's kind of like a dumb question. How much has this changed their lives? But I mean, like, what has it opened up in their lives for them?
Growth. Yeah. Reduced intense anxiety. Better communication between us all. I was concerned for my family that we were losing our ability to communicate in a healthy way because we were all stuck in our something, whatever our something was at the time. And that is not the case anymore. We have grown, one as a family. Aaron and Gabe, they live in New York. So coming from one jungle into a different jungle has changed their outlook on so much and their patience on so much. And the way that we communicate as a family is so much healthier. I've learned from them, of course. Hopefully they've learned from us as well. Like, you hope it goes both ways. I think we breathe now. We actually do a lot of living instead of holding our breath all the time. There's a lot of breathing. Our daughter, Erin, is a New York performer, a New York-based performer. And that means being inside in the dark all the time. And that is not her story right now. So she has gone from this performer person, always, auditioning and hoping for a part, from my eyes, to someone who is now certified with the 500 hours of yoga, which is a lot of hours, that certification. She has massage therapy, business. She's still a stilt walker. And she's even a little bit of an influencer now with her retreats. She's embraced her artistry. She has an artist retreat coming up in 2 weeks. So I would say that it has opened our world and done a lot of healing for us so that we can be better in this world.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's
You know,
really something.
I think about, I mean, we talk about it, but, you know, right, where there's a lot of us, first of all, right? There's
There's
six
a
kids,
lot of
two
them.
humans, two
To
humans.
humans.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Six
I guess we're
kids,
not.
parents. Sorry, didn't mean to not call you human there. And three dogs. So, you know, and I think about like how complicated that idea is in my mind. But I also think about like when we were there, although it's such a calmer way of life,
Mm,
it's not the conveniences that we're used to here, right? You can't just
right.
go around the corner and pick up whatever you need, and or
No.
if you don't feel like cooking, like there's someone will deliver something to your door, right? I mean, we're so used to this fast food,
Yes.
you know.
Well, the good news in Uvita, someone will deliver something right to your door.
Okay, well, maybe that changes
So
number
that
two.
happens. Um, but this way of living is a very inconvenient way of living
Mm.
compared to how we're all here. I mean, I've been, in Sarasota for just a couple days this week, and like everything is around. And where we live, I have to sort of plot it out a little bit more. I really like the inconvenience, I've decided,
Mm,
because one, you don't need that much.
right.
So there's that. And I think we have everything that we actually need. I need a good pair of hiking boots, some shoes, a hat, some sunscreen, a surfboard, a bathing suit to change out of, after you surf, and a couple meals a day. And no one goes hungry where we are. There's always fresh fruit, and even drinking. We don't even drink anymore. Like because your flow is a dry retreat,
I know. I
right?
was like, oh my God, am I going to survive this? I survived. We,
Yeah.
we did go off one day to,
We went to a resort.
we went to, like, this is a retreat, not a resort. We're going to
Not
go
a
visit a
resort.
resort. We were in
Exactly.
the pool and we were drinking our pretty drinks in the pool.
So I have to ask,
Yes.
why was the decision to make it a dry retreat center?
So the couple that we bought the retreat from
Mm-hmm.
is recovering alcoholic,
Mm-hmm.
and we wanted to honor all the work they had put
That's
in
fantastic.
to not just the retreat, but into themselves and into their family life. And it's changed our family life too, because alcohol was a kind of a big part of our lives in different ways, different times, different capacities. And it's just become unimportant. It's not, stuck in our head, oh, I need a glass of wine with dinner. It has nothing, it's not a judgment thing. It was
Mm-hmm.
really more of an honoring thing. And we've learned how to replace things with great, the fruit juices that they have down
Yes.
there are really top. It's a great replacement. And also, I think I'm more active. So my body is, I want to go surfing the next day and I need to feel good.
Hmm.
You don't want to be tired and run down, when you're battling some of the waves. So it started with that and it's just continued.
And if you were to visit there, you would see that some of the rooms, if you're making your way back at night, you do not want to be drinking.
It's a big liability for everyone in every way.
Yeah. And you're in the rainforest, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there's creatures, there's stuff. So I had a little
Yeah.
spider scare there. Like a big hairy
She's just
Tarantula.
scared of
yeah,
spiders.
It's called a tarantula.
yeah.
Those ones aren't those are fine. They're
I
kind
don't
of
know. He like
nice.
picked up his fangs at me
Oh
and
yeah.
he was like,
They're not poisonous though. That's the important
okay,
part.
well, he was scary.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've learned a lot about insects.
Yeah, I bet. But since you've been there, you started writing children's books. Was this something that you were thinking about before and now you were like, okay, now I can do it? Or was this just based on being there that kind of changed how you thought about, oh, I want to put these books into the world?
Yeah, it's a great question because I remember sitting in front of my mom had this big wooden bookshelf in my playroom in this duplex that we lived in, probably up until I was the age of 6 or 7, and oh no, all the way through fifth grade, right? So I think we moved in like maybe when I was 5 or 6, and I would sit at the bookshelf and dream about being an author. I remember I just wanted to write books, like and my mom had all these books for me like that. I couldn't read yet, but I would always look at books and words, used to study the World Book Dictionary. I mean, it's kind of a nerd thing to do, but that's what I did. And I've always wanted to be a children's author, but life gets in the way, all kinds of things get in the way. And moving to Costa Rica, what it did, I was burnt out. All right. I mean, I was working in the mental health world, in the suicide world with teenagers here in Sarasota. I just got to the point where I couldn't do I was so stuck, and I had compassion fatigue. So I was good to no one. And it took about 6 months in Costa Rica for me to even become creative again. And what's happened is, because I have space in my head, I have creativity back. And so that's how the books began again. You know, that's how the ideas began.
And it's going to be a 10-book series.
Yeah. It is.
Okay.
It is. Yes.
And so far, what are the ones that are out in the world right now?
Zebra Girl, Lion Boy, Eagle Boy, and Sloth Boy just published, which I haven't seen it yet. I've only seen the mock-ups, but the in person. And right now, Gazelle Girl is in production.
Oh, very cool.
Yes.
And so tell me, like, the basis for the stories.
So the basis, so each character here, I'll just, this really helps tell the whole story. Each of these characters were characters that Erin was as a stilt walker with her friends at the Bronx Zoo. So that's why it's a lion, an eagle, a sloth, a gazelle, flamingo, etc., a snowy owl, the reindeer and the zebra. Erin was a zebra girl. And I wanted to sort of honor the working women and men in the theater world, or in the performance world is probably better to say. And each story is about like that 10 seconds before you go on stage and the doubts that you have. So Zebra Girl grew because she wanted to be the lion to roar. That was the premise. And so she gets on stage, she really just hates her costume. And at the very, very end, when she gets off of the stage, she discovers it doesn't matter what your costume is, you can still roar. So each of the characters kind of go through this metamorphosis right before they go on stage, because they think they can't, or they shouldn't, or why did my teacher pick this one? This is the dumbest costume ever. It's itchy, or whatever their complaint is. And then they discover, like the last page of Eagle Boy, he discovers that it was the best day and he's fine. But Eagle Boy lives with the fact that when he gets anxious, he just wants to vomit all the time. And so he had to learn that vomiting won't help the show go on. So each of them have this thing happening, and they all come out, oh, I did that. I'm not as clumsy as I thought. So it's really the extraordinary, unordinary, right? Like, they're just ordinary kids, and they're trying to be on stage, and they just talk themselves out of it, but they still have to go on stage.
Yeah, that's so cool. Are they in both English and Spanish?
They are, yes.
That's cool.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah. That's really fun.
Yeah, and so one page, so the English is on top, and then the Spanish is on the bottom. So my team, I have I have a co-author. She's from France. Jenny's from France. My illustrator is Costa Rican, and my translator is from Spain. And then, so we're quite an international team.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Where can people find the books?
Amazon. So that's all I can do right now. Where do people find your books?
Anywhere online, basically.
Oh
Amazon,
yeah,
Target, Barnes and Noble. Yeah.
yeah. I got to figure out how to do all that.
Yeah. But honestly, there's a huge, most people, when they go to order a book, they go on Amazon because
Mhm.
it's convenient, right?
Yeah,
We talk
it
about the
is.
convenience piece, right?
Talk about
You can get it
convenience. Yeah,
tomorrow. You can get it tomorrow.
exactly. Yeah,
Or you
or
can even get it tonight,
today.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Which is even crazier, right? When you think about it like that.
that's right.
Um, Another thing you have going on, I mean, you have a lot going on. You have done so many different things in your life. Like when I kind of was reading, but also from what I know about you from the retreat and
Mm.
stuff. But I want to talk a bit about the I am yes.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
So I was
yeah.
reading
I
and I
am.
was like,
Yes,
oh,
is
this is cool
fun.
because this is like a family thing too. So I thought it was super
Yes.
interesting.
So I am yes is my name. So Amy, I put the I just did this like a couple years ago. I was so excited. I'm like, oh, that's been with me my whole life. So I put the I in front of the Amy that, and that became I, and then the AM was am. And I'm like, why? Yes. Cause I always wanted to I am a yes girl unless it's unsafe.
Right.
Right. So that's how I am yes began. And and so Steve and I have just done a lot of different passion projects. It's not a foundation or anything. It's like a family motto.
Mm.
And everyone gets to choose or do whatever they want to do or not want to do. No one has to participate. But for me, it just helped me kind of keep things more organized under the IMS. And it also is a good brand, I think.
Mm.
Um, and the series became I Am Yes. So my butterfly is the I Am Yes, book series. So everything can fall under that, and that's how it grew.
Very cool. And so I was, I went on the website that you sent me. And so then I was reading about like the different passion projects. Is it every family member brings something different to the table that they're interested in? I mean, how does that work?
Well, I'm really the only one participating right now. I'm not gonna lie, unless you include flow, and
Mm,
flow's become
yeah,
a
I
passion
mean, for sure. Yeah.
project for our
Yeah.
family. So so I'm the only one participating in not other sorts of non-flow things because my brain is constantly, okay, what can I do? What can I do? So I think flow is the biggest part for Aaron and Gabe and Steve and myself. And Jake has his own things in the fire world, like he's he'll be going back to Antarctica soon as a firefighter. So that's kind of his passion, and we try to figure out how we can support that,
Mhm.
particularly firefighter families. So everyone kind of gets to pick what they want. One of my biggest and most fun passion project that's going on right now, which is not on the website yet, is Soren 4 in Manatee County has just been granted a actual building. It's an organization that worked with children and their parents who are 4 years old and a little older to help teach them how to interact and play and all kinds of things. And once a month, it's been at Bishop Planetarium for years.
Mm-hmm.
And now they have the Soren 4 lab that's being built. So I got a phone call from one of my best friends who runs it, Dr. Sheila Halpin. She said, Amy, we're putting a theater at Soren 4 lab. Are you interested in it? I'm like, tell me more. So it's going to be the I Am Yes Theater.
Oh,
Fabulous.
I know, isn't that a cool thing?
yeah, that's really
Yeah.
cool.
Kids can go and it's a dress up theater. It's not like there's a performance on Tuesday night at 7 or anything like that. And so all the costumes from the IMS books will be there, plus all the other costumes, like, the firefighter costume or the chef costume or the teacher costume
Mhm.
or whatever it is that kids can role play, and parents will be able to sit in the audience and clap, and kids will be able to jump up and down and put a fire helmet on or something. So that's a big passion project. It was kind of a legacy project. I wanted to leave something in my community that, we've lived here for so long and that has far reaching effects, right? Like I'll never know who's going through that, which is
Right.
exciting to me,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
That's a
Who
really
knows?
cool one. I mean, so let me ask you, because you've done so many different things. Out of everything you've done, let's say in in your work life, what are like the top 3 things that have impacted you?
That's a great question. I can't ignore the Thinking Center.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a 28-year run. That was extraordinary.
Thousands and thousands of
Right, thousands and thousands of
right.
right.
And you
I
don't
mean,
know the impact because you
no.
don't see unless you run into someone like me and I tell you
Mhm.
that my son is on the dean's list and you started that journey, right? I mean, so
Right. Yeah, you
you
just don't know.
Yeah.
And you hope you did really well. Like you don't know that part either. And if you didn't do really well, I mean, a student didn't do, or you caused trouble out, or you find out a child. I just found out one of my students, has passed away. So there's this whole like emotional thing when I really think of the Thinking Center. The other really important thing that I did was the Gap School.
Yeah.
I created that was really important. It didn't end well, not because of something I did particularly, but because I trusted people in a way that I was just naive, because that's probably who I am and was. So that didn't end well, but what I started was pretty awesome.
And tell
yeah,
because people probably don't know what the Gap School is.
the Gap School, the whole thing with the Gap School was to take the McKay scholarship money back in the day, which is the money that a family would apply for if a student had learning disabilities. It was just that simple. It wasn't all these different labels at the time, right? And they could apply for it, and we would accept the funding, and that would be your tuition. It would go towards your tuition, and we would be able to provide services under that, based on that, with the idea that in 1 or 2 years we would close as many gaps as possible, and then you would go back into your local neighborhood school. So it was sometimes a kid needs an extra year to mature or whatever it is, and for the most part, that's how it happened when I was running it. When I wasn't the principal of it, it changed, which I can't control after that. Right. But that was its thing. And then probably the third biggest thing I did was, there's 4, was Camp Arrow. I had a partner, and we put on this really cool camp because the local county camps couldn't take some kids because they have too many learning problems. Like, for example, one of my original students in Camp Arrow, her name is Victoria. She's 30 now. She just had a baby. She lives in England, I think. And, I just remember having to, do different things. And now she's a mom. So how beautiful is that? And then the fourth thing that I did in my career was the Lean on Me project. And the Lean on Me project was with Jordan Stonecipher. And that was to bridge mental health in the middle school systems. And it started at Brookside. So we were actually able to we probably helped 100+ students. It's still going on, but now it filtered in with NAMI. So it's a NAMI-based program. So I would say those are the 4 big touch points of my career.
And I feel like you don't stop, right? Like, I mean,
you
just don't stop. So like there are a lot of people that would say, oh, I don't have time in my life for something, or I'm too old to do something new. I mean, what's your response to that? Because we need good advice on this show, right? I mean,
yeah. Well, I'm not dead yet. So, so as long as I'm not, I might as well, live hard and keep supporting people like people have supported me. And why not, right? The saying in Spanish is, ¿por qué no? Why not? It's pretty much that simple.
You care so much, and that's so evident by everything that you do. How do you balance your care for others with self-care?
I didn't until I moved to Costa Rica. I mean, I thought I did. It was all fake. And I didn't. Now, I get a lot more movement in my life. That's a really big deal. Surfing has been a game changer. I surf at least 4 days a week.
Were you not surfing when you were, I mean, I don't know if people really
I've never surfed
in Sarasota. Okay.
Yeah, no, I've never surfed.
Wow, wait, that's incredible.
Yeah, I don't know how, I'm a water person, and I don't know how surfing never entered my life. I was a sailor, paddleboarder, kayaker. I was on a rowing team. I mean, you know, I grew up on the water. All these things, and surfing never even crossed like it. I never even noticed it. And my friend, who is just 2 years younger than me, and who was our realtor in Costa Rica, I work with his son currently. And for my birthday, he said, "I want you to go to surf school." I'm like Dave, seriously?
I'm too old for this, or
I
something.
am too old for this. And he just laughed at me. He goes, just show up. So I texted Dennis, who's now my surf coach, and I went to 2 weeks of surf camp. Changed my life.
Wow.
Changed my life. I highly recommend surfing. I don't mean the green waves. I don't mean like what you see on YouTube videos. I'm in the white water. And, the first day, nothing's happening. You don't even know where your legs are, or how your arm, nothing. And by the fifth day, I have this great picture of me on the surfboard for the first time, and my coach in the background going, "Yes!" It was the most extraordinary day.
Yeah, I think that is so fun. Yeah, we went kayaking when we were there, and we did not go surfing. I mean, I've tried. Usually, I'm wearing shorts, and my shorts don't like expand enough for me to stand up.
But
now
also,
I have a bad knee and a bad shoulder.
You tried for like 2 hours at a time. What Amy is saying, that it took her 5 days to get a hang of it, Mom.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
it's not going to be a quick activity.
Well,
I wasn't up on the first day, and I didn't expect myself. I had no expectations because I was going to school, and the word school connotates you have to do this for a little moment.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the boys, the first day they did it,
Yeah,
they were
okay,
like
they're
up in
different.
2 seconds.
Ari is incredibly athletic, so he could do anything like that.
Gosh,
Like,
right.
But for me, I mean, I'm happy just laying on it, going through the waves. I mean,
that's pretty fun.
Even paddleboarding, I'm happy to sit and paddle. It's like
I think what surfing has done, so you really learn about the water, the waves, the currents. I mean, you learn about things that you probably learned in ninth grade, but made no sense and no one cared. But this you have to care about, because you have to be able to count the waves, and you have to be able to understand which wave is going to be more powerful so you don't get hurt, and how you fall off the board, and how you paddle out, and when to paddle out, and how you get back in. There's 1,000 things that you have to learn. And I think that's what was exciting, because it was just this barrage of information, and then you have to actually do it and put it all together, like driving.
So I actually really do love activities like that, because you can't think about anything but that activity, right?
Right.
You can't, you have to focus, right? And then once you really get it, then you can enjoy the nature part of it and all the things that come with it. But I always like things like that, where I can't let my mind wander onto the stuff I haven't done, or that, oh, I'm doing a crappy job, because I have to focus. And so I think it's like so good for your brain to do things like that. I got to get my shoulder fixed.
Yes, you have to get that shoulder fixed.
Once that's fixed, maybe I'll,
It's true. I was actually watching another surf instructor teach a person, and I was really concerned about it. And because I was not focusing, like you just said, a wave and the board popped me on the head because I wasn't paying attention. So it is the kind of sport where you have to be here. In your zone. Hard lesson.
For sure. Literally.
Yeah.
Hard on the head.
So now we're here in 2025.
Yeah.
You live in Costa Rica
most
of the time. If you could go back and tell your younger self one thing about the life you've built, what would you say?
Just wait for it. Get up every morning. Just what you don't know what is going to happen.
Yeah. I think that we're always trying to rush things, get to the better, it's going to be better if we do this, or it's going to be, just one more thing, and my life is, and we rush through life from point A to point B with our heads down because we aren't patient about things, and we feel like we failed if we haven't gotten there like yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I when I was reading your book, there were some things about that I was trying to, put myself in this situation. I have, I have always been the person, and this has been consistent. I really don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, even in my darkest moment. And there have been plenty of those, of course, for different reasons. Just going to sleep and waking up is a just wait for it moment, because you wake up and it looks completely different than it did yesterday. It's really extraordinary.
When you think about your life, because we do like to talk about confidence, what does confidence mean to you? And we always love this question because never once have we gotten the same answer from any guest.
I was thinking about that. The ability to be able to. And you have to fill in the blank, because I don't know what the two is going to, I don't know what comes after that half the time. My mom was divorced when I was about 2 years old. So I didn't grow up in a household of anyone else except me and my mom always worked. And so I was alone a lot. I don't mean that in a negative way, but I had to, if you will, take care of myself and entertain myself and get my homework done and cook TV dinners and all the things. And the even though it sounded like I was alone all the time, I was rarely lonely because I was so loved. And I think part of confidence, and I didn't know I was loved. I'm just in therapy now and kind of like realizing it. Like, this wasn't really my makeup for the last 40 years. I had no idea, because I was also told that I was too much. So if you're too much, you can't understand if you were loved. Like it doesn't match. So now that I've dissected things, I was so loved I had 4 pillars. I had my 2 grandparents, sets of grandparents, and they held me up, and they're the ones who probably gave me the confidence. And my mom was smart and kept me with my paternal grandparents, and made sure that my maternal grandparents had me every weekend. I mean, she was a smart lady. Yeah.
What's the best advice a woman in your life ever gave you?
So I have a friend named Flame, which is a very long, extraordinary story. But she gave me, we were talking about mothers, and she said, "Do you know about the 13 mothers?" And I said, "I do not." She's a midwife. She goes, "Well, you have 13 mothers in your life." I'm like, what does that even mean? She goes, "Well, you have you have the placenta mommy, right? Because we all start in the placenta. Then when you're born onto the earth. So you have the earth mom. And then you have your portal mom, right? The one who actually births you, because it could be someone different, right, than who you're actually living with. And then you get 10 female mentors in a life. And you can clump them together. So a group of women can account for one of the 10. There's no necessarily hierarchy to it. So those are your 13 moms. And what Flame described to me, she said, you have to sit down and think about all the women in your life and how they've supported you. And then how are you going to make sure you're supporting others? So the 13 mothers philosophy has probably been some of the best advice I've gotten, so that I can understand the women who have come before me and who have lifted me up or held me up, even if I didn't think they were or know they were. I think that would be the one.
I think that's really interesting. I'm definitely looking that one up.
Yeah, look it up. It's on.
I really want to think about who my 13 mothers would be then.
Well, the thing about it is, I have not finished. I don't have all 13 down yet, except the thing that all three of us and every other woman have it in common right now is placenta, earth, and portal mom.
Yeah.
Everything else shifts, and you're still very young. So, you know, your group of women are still to come as well. And for you and me too, Simone, we still have a group of women to come.
Yeah. And, you know, it's so interesting because I have met some of my closest friends as I've gotten older.
Right.
A lot of people think, oh, you know, it's when we're younger. And it's interesting to see our kids like transition from high school to college, and then from college to whether it's graduate school or
That's right.
life, right? Because the people that they thought in that moment they would be absolutely friends with forever, they're not, right? I mean,
That's right.
It's just part of how it works. So it's been really fun for me as an adult human to keep on meeting people that I never thought I would. The
absolutely.
that I made, that I'm like, this is a person that will be in my life forever. Did I expect that at 50 years old? No. I mean, so I think that has been a different way of looking at things for me, because I always thought, you know, you have your friends and you just keep going, but that is not true at all, right? It's
not at all
of life, and you figure out what serves you and who lifts you up. And because a lot of times we surround ourselves with people who don't, and
that's
those are
true.
the things we have to change.
Yes, and we have to recognize it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you know, my very oldest bestie friend is Dana.
Yeah.
Dana and I met in nursery school at Peter Rabbit School in Portsmouth, Virginia. Her mom was also, you know, in the same situation that my mom was in. And we met then, and we have absolutely ridden life together. I mean, we are as opposite as day and night. You know, she wears makeup and has a perfect hair, and, you know, she's so well coordinated. And then there's me. And we are opposite in pretty much everything. But we're so supportive of each other, and we've learned so much. Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Yeah. I love that. Okay, Liv, let's hear your calendar for today.
You and everything about you persists in a landscape of conversation that you've become so addicted to, you can't see the woods for the trees.
Just so true, right? I mean,
yeah, that's why we moved.
Yeah. I mean,
that sums it up.
Yeah.
The things that we say about ourselves, the things that we start to believe about ourselves, that we don't really see what the truth is, because we've been conditioned to see it a certain way. So
correct. Yeah. I remember when we were selling the house and we moved into another place. We have a landing spot here in Sarasota, and looking around and going, this can't be it.
Yeah.
This just
you
can't
have definitely changed the world for many people and for yourself. And I love it. And I'm so happy that you joined us today. So where can people find you?
On WhatsApp.
I don't know if LinkedIn. You're on LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah, I am on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. I am on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I just don't go on there a lot. So the WhatsApp number is probably the place that you can find me.
And you can find her books on Amazon. And
yes, find the books.
Everything in the show notes. So
yeah. Oh, you can find me at Flow Retreat Center.
There we go. We'll include a link to that as well. And you guys have to go. It really is a life-changing experience, and just that idea of self-care, because we all think of what self-care is differently, right? And sometimes we think, I mean, we were talking one day and she was struggling with something. I was like, what has your self-care been like lately? And she loves to, I'm speaking for you, but she loves to crochet. And I was like, when's the last time you crocheted? And she said, I haven't in a while. And she goes, I'm saving my self-care up for spring break. And I was like, it doesn't work that way. You can't save it up. Like, that's the whole point. You got to take care of yourself every day.
Yeah. I mean, just so you know, the moment we got to our house in Costa Rica, I vomited my guts up, and I was so sick for about 8 days.
Oh my gosh.
And all I could do was lay down, and I could barely open my eyes, and I was just retching. And it was all the mental health stuff that I never did for myself. And my body and brain said, nope, you are going to just I always lay in on the floor because the floor was so much cooler. And I knew I'd be fine, but you can't save up your self-care days. That was the lesson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so this week's confidence tip. Confidence doesn't mean you have all the answers. It means you trust yourself enough to figure them out. When you start believing you can handle whatever comes next, you stop needing everything to be perfect before you begin.
Amen.
So, Amy, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for the ask.
We loved the conversation.
Yes.
And thank you for being here.
Thank you, Simone. Thank you both, Olivia.
Always remember, you are unshakable.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for listening to Her Unshakable Confidence with Simone and Olivia Knego. We hope this episode has made your day just a little bit brighter and given you the inspiration you need to confidently go about your week. Always remember to be authentically you. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And feel free to connect with them on Instagram at Simone Knego and at Olivia Knego. Till next time.